Right into it. All right, you ready?
Yes, I am.
All right. What's up, everybody? It's your boy Jonathan D'Angelo, aka Johnny D, and I am here this morning or afternoon with Chokolatewaifu. How you doing, sweetheart?
I'm doing fine. Thank you very much.
So, what do you cosplay as right now? I see you got something on.
I am not cosplayed as anything.
Oh,
I
really?
am just, this is who I am.
Oh, so you got the senpai
Yes.
in your hair and the choker and the. I like the Sailor
Yes,
Moon
I'm
shirt.
not just a nerd online. I'm an actual nerd in real life. So the way people see me online, that's how I look.
That's actually very interesting because in America, we don't actually normally we don't dress like that. We're not. I don't know. Maybe our standards are a little bit different. I don't know. Our social standards are a little bit different, but we don't normally like. We have like the T-shirts. Like I have Han Solo T-shirt on, or we have like certain like graphic T-shirts or shoes. But that's actually pretty unique. I've never actually seen somebody dress as normal like that, and it's cool. It's cool. I'm not
Yeah.
knocking it.
Well, if you go after society, then you'll never dress the way you want to. So I just don't care. It's not the norm here as well, but this is just who I am. This is what I like. I'm a creative person, and I also like to express that in how I look. So I don't care what other people say, what they think. People can make pictures, but this is how I look.
I like that. I like that mentality. So we're starting this off real bold. I like that. So so if you just could for a second tell everybody where you're actually from because I don't think a lot of people know that you're not American.
No, a lot of people think I'm from America, but I'm actually from the Netherlands in Europe.
Yeah, and a lot of people don't realize that, and I'm pretty sure that
No.
you get a lot of questions as far as like the fact that you're black in the Netherlands is like does that come up?
Sometimes it's more just that I am not from America, is
Mm-hmm.
what the thing is, because they usually assume that I am, but when I tell them that I'm not, they're usually more like, oh, then where are you from? And I'm saying, I'm from Europe. They're like, oh, probably the UK. I'm like, no, not the UK. I'm from the Netherlands. Like, we are all over the world. So, yes.
Definitely. Yeah, it's a bit different to see black people from. It's like to picture black people from anywhere outside of Africa, America, or the UK, or Latin America, or the Caribbean. I know there are black Koreans, there are black Chinese, there are black Japanese. I've seen black Afghanis.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I
yes,
think that's an American thing because right here people don't care. Like they don't. Of course, they looked at your color of your skin, but they're not surprised when you tell them where you're from. So I think that's something typical of Americans to assume that when you're black, you're either from America, Africa, or from Latin America. Because I never heard of that before I went online and talked with a lot of
mm,
American or US people that they usually assume when you're darker, when you have a color, that you cannot be from Europe because Europe isn't all white people.
yeah, it's a there's a history lesson to that. It's we know that black people were in at least Great Britain for post because they were slaves in Great Britain. In Great Britain, Great Britain, the Netherlands, the Dutch, the French, they all owned parts of Africa, but people don't correlate the fact that Africans migrated from Africa up into Europe, or we don't just come from the slave trade that happened in the Americas. It's but we know what we're taught, and we're not always taught that there are black people in Europe. It's
Yeah, that's so weird to me because where I'm from, we actually learned that New York was actually New Amsterdam. So
mm,
there is a connection between us. So it's not that strange. Like with the Caribbean and Suriname and all those other countries, they're all linked to the Netherlands. They are one of the biggest traders in, I think, herbs and spices and also slaves. So it's
mm.
pretty common here. We have Curaçao, Antilles, Suriname. Those are all like linked historically to the Netherlands. Oh, my bell's ringing. One moment. Thank you now.
Damn bells. That's pretty dope. Damn bells.
Sorry about that. I didn't expect him to come anymore. It's a new cosplay, so
Oh, okay.
he was supposed to come at 5, but he didn't show up. So I was like, okay, he's not gonna come anymore. But then he showed up.
Oh no, you're fine. No, you're perfectly fine. You're perfectly fine.
So yeah, okay.
But
But
yeah,
I'm happy because I really thought it wasn't gonna come anymore. So I'm very happy right now.
but yeah, no, like in America, I remember learning that New York was New Amsterdam, but like we're black people in America are primarily taught that we got here from Africa through the slave trade. I know there were African Americans who defected to Europe during and after World War II because they were treated better in Europe than they were in America, and so
Mm.
but as far as like African immigration into Europe and into East Asia, like that's not really something that we know about or we get or that's touched on. Like we hear about it or we might read about it somewhere, it might get mentioned, but we don't necessarily correlate black people internationally unless it's like, oh, he was in the they were in the military and they just ended up here. It's but I mean that's just our scattered history. It happens.
Yes, we're everywhere. Like here, France, there are a lot of us. Germany, like all over. Like in the East, not so much, but in West Europe, there are a lot. Well, I wouldn't say a lot, but there are dark people there. It's not uncommon.
And it's good to actually have you on the show and be that international like bridge, so to speak.
I
Because
guess. Yes.
you are actually highly favored over here by black cosplayers. I don't know if you know that, but a lot of
Really?
black cosplayers,
No,
yeah.
I did not.
My homegirl, Black Girls Anime, she absolutely adores you. You're like her woman crush
Oh,
every
that's
day,
so sad.
and she's actually from,
I think
she's
Ghana.
yeah, I think Ghana,
Yeah.
yeah, and she
Or
she
Nigeria. I think Nigeria.
it's either Ghana or Nigeria, and she's gonna kill me for
Yeah.
not knowing, so I'm gonna take the L, but
I
but
think it was Nigeria.
yeah, and
I'm
she
I'm taking that guess that it was Nigeria.
and she absolutely like I told her you were gonna be on the show, and she was like, oh my god, that's wife, and I was like, I know, like a lot of black cosplayers actually look to you for actually look up to you, um,
Oh, real. Oh,
yeah, you
that's
have
like,
a
oh my god, I didn't
Yeah,
know that
yeah, you
at
did.
all.
Yeah, you didn't. Yeah, you have a huge following.
Oh,
Yeah, you have a pretty. You're mentioned in the circles of one of like the better known cosplayers over
oh my
here.
god.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh
have you ever been to a con over here in America? Like, have you ever made it?
no, never ever. Like it was on my mind, but it was like, nah, I'm not gonna go there. I don't know anyone there. Like, what am I gonna do over there? So it was like, I was gonna go like this year, but then I was like, nah, why would I? Like,
Oh,
nah.
see, well now that what I'm saying, now we got to get you over here because
Yeah, like I was like, I don't have any friends over there. I don't know how everything works. I don't know how I can get a hotel because I don't know anything about America. So I was like, how am I gonna do this like logistic wise? Like, can I get a room? Because I know I wanted to go to Colossal Con and
uh
I emailed them, but I never got a response back. So I didn't
mm.
know what to do. So I was like, okay, well they didn't because it was like, okay, hi, I'm from the Netherlands. I really want to go to your convention, but I don't know how the booking system works if you're international. How can I do that? Because I don't know anyone. I don't want to give some stranger my money. So how can I do that? But they never answered back. So I was like, okay, well, I guess I can go then.
I'm gonna link you up with a couple of cosplayers that actually would be able to help you. So I know the Smoke Moran. He used to be a pro wrestler in America, and he's a well known cosplayer in Philadelphia. Um, and so I'm gonna after this I'm gonna link you up with him. Charlie Rocket is like honorary guest. She's on the show like every other week.
Okay.
I'm gonna hook you up with her. She's in North Carolina, and and then myself, you know me, and and
Yeah.
I'm gonna link you up with I'm gonna try and link you up with one of the more there's a hierarchy to this, like somebody like
Yeah,
Kitty.
because I really wanted to go, but I just didn't know how to do it and where to start. So it just got off the table like, okay, I'm not going to do it. It's too much of a hassle. I don't know where to go. I don't know who to ask. So I was like, you know what, forget it. I'll just go to somewhere else. And we were like, we saw the pictures and we see everything. We're like, oh, I really want to go. But then I'm like, oh no, the hassle. I don't know where to go. I can
No.
drive a car there. I don't know how to get a hotel. So I was like, I can't. I don't know how.
No, we're gonna get you. We're gonna get after the show. We're gonna get you hooked up. We're gonna get you hooked up because it would
Oh,
be a shame. Like you have, like I said, you have a pretty large following. You know, like black cosplayers in America. We're actually. I don't know if you've seen. I don't know if you follow my page. I don't know if you've seen my recent post, but
yes,
there's been a lot of negativity surrounding the black cosplay, the blurred culture, because we're not
yes,
getting fair representation. And so,
yes,
Colossal Con, there was a huge to do with Colossal Con concerning racism and discrimination
yeah. I
against
saw that.
black cosplayers and cosplayers of color. And so,
Yes.
yeah, it's but you are looked at as one of the one of the the greats. You know, people look at
Oh
you
my
and
god.
they
So much
see.
pressure now.
I mean,
I
and you have to
really did
understand.
not know that. So
Yeah,
I
and
was like, okay, whatever, I just do this, I'll whatever, and I'll post something online. And people were like, oh, I look up to you. Like, yeah, whatever, of course. You just say that to compliment you. Like, yeah, whatever, sure. But I keep hearing them. Now I'm like, oh my God, I have to do better now.
yeah, like we love you over here, you know. And like I said, a
Oh,
lot of people. There's not a lot of black cosplayers out there, especially with your numbers. You know, your number of followers. You know what I mean? And so, like,
yeah.
a lot of people think you're American, they just never see you. And so, like, so, you know, facts. You know, because
And
they're
Dutch people don't see me either.
yeah.
So
So
they will be regardless.
you know, they people don't know who you are, but they know, hey, she's a black cosplayer, she's very creative, you know, she knows what she's doing, and so they like, subscribe, they add, they follow, because you know there's only like so many of us you know, in the blurred community, and then for all of us that there are, our recognition is really low. And you know, it was I can't remember who posted it, but somebody, and I seen scrolling through a quick scroll the other day of on my timeline, and somebody was like, name five black cosplayers who have over 10,000 followers, you know, or it's or name five black cosplayers who have over, you know, like 100,000 followers. Like it's difficult, and you're one of the few that we know that have, what do you have, like 11,000 or something like
I
that.
think I'm at 14 right now,
Yeah, and
actually.
you know, like that's actually a huge achievement for our community, even though you technically aren't even in our community, you
No,
know.
that's the thing. Like, I'm not in any community of the first. Like, I'm not in the Dutch community. I'm not in American community. Like, it's just me, basically. I'm by myself. Because here in the Netherlands, there are like one, two, three, I think five other black cosplayers, maybe at most, who regularly go to conventions. So when
Mm.
I go to a convention, there are like maybe four other people that I can relate with, and the rest is all white. So it's also very rare here. So I don't. There's not like a black community here. Like we have a Facebook group since I think a week or two, and there are like 30 people in there. Like that's all we could gather. Like we really try, but like, I can't think of more than 30 people, and of those 30 people, maybe 10 go to conventions or cosplay. So it's like we are really really small here, and so I'm not part of any community because, like you said, in the US, like you go to convention together, you have meetings. Like I can fly over the world, over the sea to come to your meeting. So I'm by myself basically.
Well, you're with us now.
I'm with you guys now. Like
You're
it's
with us now.
official. I have been set up to a team, and my team is Team US right now.
Yes, you are with us right now. You know,
Yeah.
we can use all the numbers we can get. You're with us right now. So the reason why I brought you on the show, because I mentioned creativity, you being one of the more creative cosplayers. The reason why I brought you on the show is because you actually went on a Instagram rant on your storyboard about
Yeah.
creativity and cosplay, and I thought that was very interesting. That you felt like certain people just lacked creativity in the cosplay community. So my question is, as what brought about that rant, first of all?
Well, it started a while ago. I think late last year, because a lot of people don't know. I started my cosplay account last year, so I got to 10K in less than a year.
Wow.
And I saw a lot of people complaining, like, "Oh, I'm not growing. I'm only losing followers." And like I got 10K in less than a year. Not to brag about it, but it is possible.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason I got that because I was creative. And this is not to bash anyone. Like, let me put that. Like, I'm not bashing anyone, but just me, I'm also an entrepreneur, so for me it's very important to set yourself apart from the rest, because
Absolutely.
you're on the internet and there are a lot like you on the internet,
Mm-hmm.
and you can be hot as today and be total garbage tomorrow. That's how the internet works.
Absolutely.
So it's very important to set yourself aside and just get a good image of yourself. Even if you do it for fun, like me, like I do it for fun. I would never make it my actual career or anything. I wouldn't lose my job over it. But I do it for fun. But I still take it serious. I wouldn't say too serious. Like not like I'm going to be a professional cosplayer or anything. But I do take the things I do very seriously.
Mm-hmm.
Like when I say I am going to do a cosplay, I will do my best to make that cosplay look presentable. And if I see that everyone cosplays, like for example, Samus, like everyone cosplays the blue skin of Samus,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna do the blue skin of Samus. I'm gonna take that black skin of Samus because that's gonna what makes me stand out. So everyone does the blue one, so why are you gonna do the blue one as well? And like I said, not to bash anyone. If you want to do something, by all means, do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
But after a while, when people see 15 Harlequins on their timeline, like you're like the 20th. So they're like, okay, another Harlequin or another diva or another this. And when they see something different, like, oh, what is this? They click on it, they interact with you, like, oh, I've never seen this before. Or, oh, this is pretty cool. Or this idea is pretty cool. And that's what motivates people to engage with you. Like, you have to pique their interest. And that's the thing. It's very hard to do, but that's what you have to do on social media, like pique interest of your followers or the people that you want to see your work. And a lot of people take the easy road, or take the easy road, like, okay, these are very popular, so these are the ones I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do Naruto, I'm gonna do Bleach. Like everyone does that. That of course if you want to do it, then by all means do it. Like I did Hinata too. So it's not bashing like major cosplay or anything, but also try to be creative. Try to do something that no one does.
Mm-hmm.
So try to do something that not everyone does. Do it with a twist, maybe. So like switch up the colors, stuff like that. Like things that other people didn't see, because when you scroll, like for yourself, when you scroll to your timeline, you stop at the things that pique your interest. You just scroll, scroll, scroll. Then you see one thing like, oh, this is cool, and you like it. Maybe you comment on it, and the rest didn't pique your interest, so you didn't stop at their picture. And they might have took a long time to show the cosplay or do their makeup or make the pictures, but the cosplay itself just isn't creative enough to engage people.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one of the things that I try to be creative with what I do, even if it's not a big character. Like I would still cosplay that because it's something that you don't see every day.
Facts. True story. So, so do you feel like, do you feel like they're like unacceptable? Like, do you feel like people aren't being creative? And oh well, I guess you kind of touched on it, but do you feel like people are just doing what's, I guess in the gaming world we call it meta, and meta is just what's popular. Do you feel like that's where cosplay has been going lately?
Yes, very much so. And like I said, I am not against it at all. If you want to do that, then by all means do it. If that's what you're comfortable with, then by all means do that. But don't expect to be noticed when you're, like I said, the 20th diva or the 15th superwoman they see or the 10,000th Hinata they see on their timeline in a
Mm-hmm.
week, because they see those things all the time. And like anime and gaming is so broad, there are so much people can pick from, and they always pick the same thing. Like, why would you pick the same thing every time when there's so much to choose from? That's like eating the same meal every day when there's a whole supermarket of fresh ingredients that no one's using. So that's how I view it. So that's basically how I think of it. Like, yes, it would be fun to do. Like, of course, I also do cosplays that are very basic, very basic costumes, but I don't give them a lot of time on social media. I don't spam pictures of them. I do them and that's it. And then I go back to something that really piques my interest or something that's different. That's what I like doing.
So, do you feel like there are certain forms of cosplay that are less creative than others? I know you do lewds,
Yes.
but do you feel what do you as far as creativity goes? Like, is there a line you would draw in the sand? Like, I know um, you do lewds, but you know store bought. We have store bought. We have homemade. Like, would you consider these creative?
You can make them very, very creative. Like you can, but you can also be very basic with them. Like you can put on a wig and put on a lingerie set you bought at H&M, and that's your little cosplay. Like it's a little cosplay, but it's not interesting. Like they've seen, yeah, the wig with the bra, we all seen that, we know that, but you can switch it up a little, that's the thing. And most of my lewd cosplays, like I said, I do a lot of fan service because people want me to do that, so I do that because I'm here for my followers, me to entertain them. So if they want me to do a certain thing, I will do it. But you can switch it up like with different characters, like I said, like for example, I did Guzma
Yeah,
in a slinkini instead of the basic poke, like the basic Misty or anything. Like I could have done Misty and make a loot out of her, just wear the wig, purple orange bra, and I will be done, and it will be another loot. But I was like, no, everyone does Misty, everyone does Olivia, everyone does that, so I want to do something else. And I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do Guzma, I'm gonna gender bend it, and I'm gonna wear a very revealing slinkini because that's something you don't see every day.
and I actually
And
yeah. I'm sorry. I actually liked your Guzma. Actually, it was one of the better lewds I've seen so far, because I wasn't expecting that. I actually was
that's
not
the
expecting a
thing.
lewd Guzma.
That's the thing. Like you can be lewd, but also be very creative in what you do. So it doesn't have to be a lewd hinata. You can gender bend. You can do different things. You can use different things. Like also, it doesn't have to be nude. You can also, there's so much you can do. You can wear spandex. There's so much you can do, and you can be with everything with loot, so you can be as creative as you want, and people appreciate, even if it's loot, they will still appreciate it when it's creative because they see that you put thought and effort into it. When they just see you put a wig on and put on a bra, that's not effort. So that's what I see a lot of people complain about, like, oh, everyone just wears a bra and put on a wig and calls it a cosplay. Like, of course you can do that, there's nothing wrong with that, but don't expect people to compliment you for it because it's something that's been done
Yeah.
countless of times. Do something else, make it creative, switch it up a little bit.
Do you feel like there are people who cosplay not for the art of it, but for the attention, and maybe that's where the lack of creativity comes from?
Oh, definitely, definitely. There are, I think, just that, but that's also an assumption I make.
Hmm.
But I honestly think that there are a lot of people who do it for the money because you can make, like, let's be real, you can make a lot of money when you do loot cosplay. Like, look at Patreon, look how many cosplay Patreons are, and how much money these girls make. So there's definitely a market for that. Like you have whole porn sites that are targeted to cosplay porn. Like the number one girl
That's
on many
facts.
vids, like Hidori Rose, is a cosplayer. Everything she does is cosplay porn. And it's really good porn. Like not to bash on her. Her porn is amazing. Like she's very creative in what she does. So that's also a thing. Like she does porn, she does cosplay porn, but it's very, very creative. She takes a lot of effort with what she does. She really thinks it through. She wants to make it true to the character. She puts time in her cosplay. So she's the number one on many bits, and she's a cosplayer. So that tells you how big cosplay and lewd or porn is right now. So yeah,
Understandable.
seeing that there's a lot of money to be made with cosplay. So, and of course it's for attention. Like, not gonna lie, we all do cosplay for attention. No one's gonna say like our cosplay, but I don't want any attention. So we all cosplay for attention. Like, let's keep it real. That's why you do this. You want attention. People to say like, oh, this looks so cool. Oh, you look so great. You're my favorite character. We all do that. But there's a difference between doing it for money or because you actually like it or actually like the character.
Mm.
Like when you see, oh, this character is popping right now. Let me do this character real quick so I can chime in on this trend and maybe get some more Patreons or get some sets out. So that's something that you do see. And I think you can really see who puts effort in it and who doesn't.
Hmm. So, have you ever been told that your cosplays aren't creative enough? Like, or have you ever been approached, especially with your lewds? Has anybody ever told you that those aren't creative enough?
No, never. I actually get a lot of compliments on those, and I honestly didn't expect it. Like I do less loots now than I did,
Hmm.
but I try to make them more creative. But every time I do them, I get a lot of DMs like, "Yo, I really love them." Like also from girls, not just guys. There's also girls tell me like, "This looks so cool. What was your thought process? Can you give me some pointers?
Hmm.
What are your tips?" So yeah, I do get a lot of praise for them as well. Like something I really expected a lot of backlash with loops, and honestly, I think in the year and a half that I've been doing lose, I might have got two negatives,
Hmm.
like two negative comments, and the rest was like, "Oh my god, this is great! I love this." From girls and guys, they're like, "This looks great. You put effort in it. It looks wonderful. I really love you for this." So yeah, I like maybe because I wouldn't say I have a big following because it's of course how you view it, because you have people with hundreds of thousands of followers. Compared to them, I'm very small,
Hmm.
but to other people, I'm very big, so I'm kind of in the middle. So maybe I'll get more negative comments when I grow, but up until now I really did not have a lot of negative comments on it, because I do show, but I do try to keep it, I wouldn't say clean, but I wouldn't just make a picture with my legs in the air. Like I wouldn't do that because that's not like you see those. They're not creative. They're like, okay, look at me and legs in the air. Like, yeah, this is my cosplay, or to just show you their bum and that's it. So I wouldn't do that per se, or it would have to fit with the picture I have in mind.
Hmm.
So, like I get a lot of comments like, "Why don't you show your butt? So why don't you turn around? Just show your butt." Like, no, because you can't see my cosplay when I turn around. Then I could just wear lingerie and show you my butt. Why would I wear a cosplay to just show my butt? Because I do show my butt. Like in my Ryoko, I got a shot from below where you can see my pants. And we did that because we did want a butt shot, but we wanted it to be like, be creative, not just like a smutty butt shot.
So, what got you? I know you said there's a lot of money made into it, but what got you actually cosplaying lewds? Not to kind of wander off the topic, but what got you cosplaying lewds?
I always been a very, I would say, sexual individual, but I've always been very in touch with myself. I enjoy being sexy. I really like doing it, but I was just always scared to put it online because my parents were there and stuff. Just I didn't want to turn online, and now I was like, okay, I'm by myself. I'm old enough. I had a separate account now because first I do have a personal account, but I never use it. So, I have all my family on there, like coworkers, friends. Like I would never post stuff like that on there. But on this account, like I do have some family members on there, but it's they accept what I do, and like I said, it's not raunchy. If I would do like really raunchy stuff, they would comment on it, but they can see that it's fun. It's not like, yeah, it's not raunchy, so they're fine with it. Like my little sister, she likes what I do, and because I know that Instagram isn't all 18 plus. Like not everyone that follows me is 18 plus. Like I know the majority is because of course I have analytics, but not everyone is. So I don't want to make like raunchy, slutty shots of stuff like that. And that's something that I'm very comfortable with doing now. Like I found a way to express what I like doing, without it being smutty or without it looking trashy.
So, when it comes to cosplay and creativity, what to you would be the most important thing? Like, if you say, like, what would be the most important thing in your mind when it comes to a creative, authentic cosplay? Besides, I mean, I know you said, do something different, but even if they were to do the same, what would make it, like, how would you in your mind want to make it stand out other than, like you said, like the alternate art or the alternate colors? Like, what if you saw 20 Harley Quinns on your page, on your news feed, what would make the one standout Harley Quinn?
Probably honestly none because I don't like Harley Quinn. But if I had to choose, I would probably say like you can tell from a picture, even if it's a selfie, you can tell when someone put effort into that. And I think you can see that on a picture. And I would probably like the picture who showed the most effort. Like maybe they have a set, maybe they did a pose that Harley Quinn would do, something in her character. Maybe they have big props, they have the hammer, something like that. Like they didn't just purchase the suit from a store and put it on and that's it. Like everyone can do that, but they actually took the time to think, okay, I'm going to make shot and this is what I want it to look like. And you can see that when someone actually put thought into their shot, even if it's a selfie or it's a low quality shot, you can still see that they took the effort to do it. And also, the captions, like they can see like they put thought and effort into it. And I think that's something that's very important, especially with cosplay becoming more mainstream and people doing it for attention or money or whatever. That even if you're a small cosplayer, like when you do it with love, people will notice. Like that's how I honestly feel like I got big because people saw that I like what I do. And I think that shows in my pictures that I like what I do. I'm not uncomfortable. I like it. I'm very excited to post this. And I think that shows, and I think that's why I grew to where I am now because people feel like I'm authentic. Like I talk to people, I don't just want their money. I'm not there to go and support my Patreon or else you're not getting anything. Like I do it for fun and people see that you do something for fun and with passion. And if you look at the big cosplayers, like the big cosplayers,
Mm.
one thing they all have in common is they have passion for what they do. And that is what got them where they are today.
Do you feel like customer service is part of one of the important parts of creativity?
Definitely. Like you also have to be smart about it. Like you can still view it as a business. Like if you want to be a professional cosplayer, if that's something you want to do, then you have to look at it as a business. Like you have to um, cater to your customers, and those are your followers in this instance. Because I see a lot of girls like they post like sexy stuff, and then someone put comments on it like, "Oh yeah, I don't appreciate you commenting on it like that." Like they're like, "Oh my god, you look sexy." Like, "Oh, I don't appreciate you talking to me like that." Like you posted a sexy picture. What did you expect him to say? Like stuff like that. And or like, oh, don't DM me, only DM me when you want to buy something from me, or put something for my wish list before you talk to me. You see those things a lot. Like, and somewhere I get it because they want to be paid for their time. I get that. But on the other hand, like even people that don't pay you, like they can be your supporters as well. Like they share you, they talk about you, and even if they're not subscribed to your Patreon or they don't buy your sets or they don't buy your prints or whatever, doesn't mean that they're less than the people that do.
Mm.
And I think there is a difference in how a lot of girls, particularly, um, treat their paying customers, if I would say, and their non-paying customers. And I think there should be a difference between it. Like, of course, when someone pays for your stuff, of course you have more connection with them because you have to fulfill that order. So you talk to them more, and you write stuff to them. You put something personal on there. So of course there is more interaction when you buy something from someone, but that shouldn't be a criteria for you to be taken seriously as a fan, because there are a lot of people who don't have it, can afford it, or just don't simply don't want to, but they still really like you. And paying you shouldn't be like a criteria for you to take them seriously. And I think that's something that I do. I don't care if you buy my stuff or if you just there to comment or you just like and you never comment or whatever, or you just watch. Like I am thankful to everyone because I am as big as I am because people decided to follow me. Like they didn't have to follow me.
Mm.
They could also just check my page every once in a while and just don't follow. They could, they could easily do that. But they took the time to follow, click the button, look you up, look through your pictures, like them. And that's something that I find important. Like also when they send you DMs, like they took the time out of their day to write that to you. So who are you to just dismiss them?
Facts.
That's how I feel about it. Like I see a lot of girls are like, oh, my other folder, I just deny all of them, just decline all. I'm like, I actually go through them and I sort them out. And even if it's just a thank you or an LOL, but I do try to respond to them. And even if it's something that might be a little bit disrespectful, most of the time they don't mean harm. Like we're most of them are introverts, they're socially awkward, they don't know how to talk to people. So that's how I view it. So even if they say, oh my god, you look so sexy, I really wish you were my girlfriend, like I'd be like, ew, that's creepy, decline. And I was like, okay, well, thank you. I can't be your girlfriend, but thank you very much for the comment because
Yeah.
he was genuine about it. Like even if it's kind of creepy, of course, if you say that, but he was genuine about saying that. So the least I can do is okay, thank you very much, but I can't be your girlfriend. So, but I do really appreciate the support that you give. And even if you do that, like because at first I was also scared, but most of the time, they respond with, oh, thank you. I really didn't expect you to respond to anything I say, or I really didn't respond to you. I really didn't expect you to respond or even see this because they're surprised when you actually open their message aloud. I'm like, oh, I didn't expect this. And I get that a lot. Like, oh, other girls I comment on or I send DM just saying that I like their stuff, like nothing creepy. I just want to say I really like your stuff. And I never get a response back. They don't even look at it. And I don't do that. Like I at least say thank you, or if it's really creepy, of course I'll decline. Like of course, but if it's something very innocent and it's just a bit awkward or whatever, I always respond. I always respond. Like in the beginning, like I had so much time in my day. Like I spent hours responding to DMs. Like at some point, I had to cut down a bit because people were like actually giving me like good morning, how are you doing, what are you doing today, like okay, we don't have to go there,
Yeah, definitely.
but I can just you can just interact with them because at the end of the day you are where you are because of them,
Facts.
and they are they request you, they share your stuff even if you don't see it, they tell their friends like, oh, this cosplayer is cool or you should follow her. So even if you don't see it, like they are your biggest fans and they are the ones who get the word out. So I think you should treat them all with a lot of respect, and I think a lot of girls don't do that or fail to see that or just don't think that it's that important. But like for example, like if you would comment to, I don't know, someone you like, some artist you would like, and you say, oh my god, I really loved your album, and they say thank you, if that's all they said to you, thank you, like how happy would you be
Yeah,
if they
definitely.
just said thank you?
Definitely.
Like you would be so happy, even if they just liked it, even if they just give you a like you would be like, oh my god, this and that liked my comment, or this and that said this to me. And that's how you should view it, because to a lot of people, they look up to you, or they're like, they admire you, or they really like you. So if you have to acknowledge them as actual people, and that's what makes you a human, and that's what makes you interesting to them, because they can actually talk to you. You're not just someone who posts pictures and you don't respond to anything. And I think that's one of the big things is why I became as big as I am, because a lot of times people responded, I responded back, and after that they started following me.
Mhm. And
After I responded to them, they started following me. So that's how I think I got big. Like I do take every one of them seriously, and that was the other one. Take everyone seriously and just like what you do, because it really shows if you like what
and last question for the culture.
you
Um,
do.
do you do you have, how do I want to say this? So do you find it do you have any road bumps when it comes to being a black cosplayer? like creativity wise? Do you have any? Do you find any road bumps? I know representation for us is kind of like slim, but um, as a black cosplayer, is it difficult for you to be, well, I wouldn't say difficult for you to be creative, but do you find any speed bumps in your, road to creativity trying to really stand out? I mean, you have better numbers than a lot of us. um but you do, you have better numbers than a lot of us, but like, do you, I mean, even with those numbers, like even Cutie Pie Sensei, who has like 90,000, 100,000,
Yeah.
do you find that you still have hurdles that you have to overcome when it comes to creativity? I know, yeah. And the reason why I asked this real quick, and I know you're trying to answer, but the reason why I asked this right quick is because
Yeah, no
you know
problem.
a lot of Black American cosplayers are having problems right now because we're under fire. Like, why are you cosplaying Captain America? You're not white. Or why are you cosplaying Han Solo? You're not white. Or why are you doing I can't think of his name. Why are you doing like Edward from Full Metal Alchemist? You're not Japanese. Like why aren't you doing Storm, or why aren't you doing Black Lightning, or why aren't you doing Mister Terrific, or why aren't you doing Lando Calrissian? So like, do you have those? Have you faced those same hurdles?
It's such a hard question. I did, but it doesn't stop me from doing what I want to do. Like, I do really try to cosplay a lot of POC characters. That's something that I do take a lot of pride in because they are underrepresented anyway. And when people do them, they usually blackface or brown face. So especially when, like, I am not dark, but I'm not light as well. Like, I'm not kind of in between.
Mm,
Like, I'm not super dark, but I'm not light skinned as well. So I'm like passable. I'm not like, oh, I'm light skinned, so I have easy time, or I'm not like, okay, I'm super dark, so I can, you automatically think you're going to get that stuff. But it's such hard. In the beginning, I was really scared to cosplay. Like, that's one of the things that really kept me from cosplay for because I started so late, because I was really scared. Because, I see the things that happen online as well. Like, I see the comments and people get like, okay, I'm not gonna do this. Like,
mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna do it. I don't have time for this. So I was like, okay, just don't do it. Just leave it. And the moment I started, what was my first cosplay? My first one was a Gajinka, so an evolution. So it wasn't color based because it was purple, so it didn't matter. And I actually did a lot of colored cosplay, or just POC people,
Mm-hmm.
because that's what I was attracted to them, because I represented them more. Like, I feel like I can get a better representation of them because they're closer to my skin tone.
Yeah.
So that's something that was like a criteria for me for a long time. Like, if it's not my skin tone, I'm not gonna do it. Like, if it's not close to my skin tone, I'm not gonna do it. Like, I'm not gonna do some pale anime girl because I'm gonna get in trouble when I do that. There are still characters that, okay, I'm gonna stay away from those, but that's more because I know the community is toxic, but not because I don't want to cosplay them. But I'm usually just drawn more to POC characters. But of course, I also did white or Asian or whatever they are characters, because no one said they're ever Asian. Like, some of them aren't even Asian or white. So
Yeah. Yeah.
like Hinata, for example, like, I was really scared at first. Like, oh my god, like, Hinata is like the opposite of me in every single way. Like, she's very shy, she's pale, like, she's very slender. I'm like, okay, I'm a bigger girl, I'm darker, I'm very outgoing. So, she was the actual opposite of me. And when I did her the first time, I was so scared. Like, I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna get so much hate when I do this, because a lot of people really like her. Like,
Mm-hmm.
she's waifu for a lot of people. So I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna get so much hate thrown at me for doing this. But I really wanted to do her because I got a lot of requests for her, and I did like her as one of the few female characters in Naruto, she was one of the ones I like because I watched Naruto. I didn't watch Shippuden all the way, but I did watch Naruto and I did watch some of Shippuden. So um, she was one to care. Like if I had to choose one, it would be her. So I was like, okay, because I don't cosplay characters if I don't have a connection with them or have some kind of click with them. I don't cosplay them because
Yeah.
I want them to be, I want to represent them right. So if I had to choose one, it would be Hinata. I was like, okay, how am I gonna do this? And we had a beach. We had a little beach meeting here. I was like, okay, I'm gonna do Hinata in it. What would she look like in a swimsuit, and what would make her stand out that you would instantly see that it's Hinata? Well, that's the mesh, of course. Yes, the mesh thing on her jacket and the lenses, the headband, and her hair. Like that, those are her distinctive features.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, okay, I'm gonna take those and I'm gonna make a swimsuit edition out of it. So I really took my time to look for a mesh bikini that actually would fit her. I didn't just put on a black bikini. I actually looked for a bikini that I wore. Like I wore a little mesh shirt and a mesh bottom for her and with her jacket. So I still had her jacket on as a reference point so you could see that this is Hinata. And I got so much love. Like it was crazy. Like I think it was the first picture that got over 1,000 likes, and I was like, oh my god, I can do whatever I want if I just put my mind to it.
Mm-hmm.
And that kind of broke the mold for me as to cosplaying outside of my color, like not just picking, just looking for characters. A lot like, okay, I need someone of color. Let me look up a list with black anime characters or black video game characters. Like, that's what I usually did.
Yeah.
But now I look at the character. If I really like them, I will cosplay them. And did I get hate? You know what the thing is? Because I am not from the US, and I don't have a big US. Well, I do have a big US following, but like in real life, of course, I don't meet a lot of like American citizens.
Yeah.
And here in Europe and the Netherlands, they are very, very, very strict about racism. Like racism is a no go. Like no go. Like you can be shunned from the community if you ever said anything racist, like you are done. Like
Damn.
that's how it is because it's such a small community. Like
I,
you cannot go you can go to a convention here without seeing the same people. You see the same people every convention because
mm,
it's a really small country. We have a really small community. So racism here is less obvious. Of course, it's there, but it's not as obvious because they can't just blatantly say racist stuff. Because when they do, they get shunned because there are not a lot of us. There
yeah.
are just a few thousand. So it's the risk here is it's very risky to say something like that,
Mm-hmm.
about blacks, gays, anything that's not white, basically. That's not white. It's very dangerous to say something about them because you will be shunned and you will be called out and we will know who you are in person because it's such a small community. So we will
Man.
probably see you and whoop your ass when we see you. So that's just
Man.
not something that they do here because they know there are actual consequences to
Wow.
doing that because we know where you are, we know where you live. Like, this is a small country. We can figure out anything about you. It's very easy. So,
Man, if only
like,
America was like that.
yeah, but it's not like it's not there. It's just less obvious
hmm
because the punishment is greater
Yeah.
than it is like in the US. Like you can say anything online and people will never see you at a convention because they're at the other side of America. Like stuff like that isn't like that here. Like we have maybe 4 or 5 big conventions, so we will see you this year. So when you say stuff like that, yeah, there's an actual risk to saying that because we can find you. We know where you are, or we can find you through friends or Facebook. It's not that hard to figure out who said what. So, with that said, racism it is here. I personally never experienced it. I do have instance where I thought like, okay, I didn't get this because I was black or because I have darker skin, because most of the black cosplayers here are light skinned.
Oh,
Like I'm basic. I think I'm the darkest. Maybe two other girls who are maybe my skin tone or around the same skin tone, but the rest is all lighter skinned or mixed.
mm-hmm.
They're still black, but they're light skin, so they pass a bit better than we do.
Yeah, definitely.
And there are just a few of us, like a handful, maybe five, maybe 10 at maximum, like who have darker skin. So you can guess it, but you can never tell because there are not enough of us to actually see it systematically happen.
Yeah.
So it's very hard to distinguish racism here because there are just not a lot of us. And I did have a few instances where I wanted to shoot with a photographer and he just was like, no, I can. But it was like, okay. But next week I see you shooting with someone else. So, you did have the time, just you didn't want to shoot me because, I'm hard to photograph because of my skin,
Mm.
stuff like that. So it does happen. And, I'm like, okay, it's pretty obvious you didn't want to work or shoot with me because I am dark skinned.
Mm.
And um, it hurts, of course, but then again, it doesn't stop me from doing what I want because there are a lot of people who do want to work with me or think I'm awesome or whatever. Like I have Mira that is my photographer. She's a white girl. She's very white. Like she is she is one of the first people that made a photo of me that made it look good. Like she had to put some effort in it, but she made me look good.
Yeah.
And she didn't just posted a picture of me like I look ashy, or she put on the flash. You know how flash goes with our
Yeah.
skin. Like
Oh,
that,
yeah,
that's
definitely.
not a good look. Like stuff like that. Like she's one of the we have like five photographers here. Like we don't have a lot to choose from anyway. So of the few we have, she's one of the few that actually takes your skin tone in consideration. And as far as I see a lot online happening, of course. Like now with the Black cosplayers are here tag on Twitter. Like I see it and I view it and I see the colossal come thing, and it's just something that would never happen here because our community is so small.
Yeah.
So that would never be able to happen here. Like we could scream anything, but they wouldn't take us serious because there are only like five of us. So they're like, "Oh, you're overreacting," and you think that because you're a minority. Like we are actually at a convention, you could count on two hands how many black people there are.
Mm.
So, they would always brush it off as, oh, no, you're being too dramatic, or no, that's not how it is. It's just because, or, they always have a reason why it wouldn't be because of racism or colorism, because we also have a lot of colorism. Like, even with our own, like, we see that they favor the lighter skin individuals more than the darker skin
That's
ones.
here
So,
too. Yeah, that's here too.
yeah, we have that as well. Like, I'm not gonna name names, but also we have some lighter skinned cosplayers who do, I wouldn't say worse than me, but they are definitely not better, like by any means, but they do get more attention because of their skin tone. And that's
Mm.
that's just it's very obvious because if we would be put together, like I have some like a friend of mine, she is I think half Peruvian and half Dutch, so she is a lot lighter than I am.
Mm.
You can still see that she's black, but she's a lot lighter than I am. And at one instance, she was cosplaying Sombra, and she put a lot of effort in her cosplay. And she went to an anime convention, and she was there with another Sombra who was white. And a photographer came, and he actually asked her to move because he wanted to photograph the better Sombra.
Mm.
And
Wow. That's deep.
like she wouldn't admit it, but I know that broke her like a little bit. Like, oh my god, like, and it wasn't the first time it happened. Like, she also did Borderlands, and it was a really great cosplay, and she didn't get any attention. And another girl who did the same thing was white, got, oh my gosh, cosplay is so wonderful, it's so great, and was like identical. The only difference was their skin tone, and she didn't get any of the recognition that she got. So that must hurt, of course. And of course, I sometimes see it as well. Like, I'm like, okay, um, I take a lot of effort in what I do, and then I see another girl that is lighter than I am, and I was like, okay, why is she getting more? Like, not to be petty about it, but why is she getting more attention than I am? Is it because of my skin tone, or you do start doubt yourself? You do start doubting yourself
Yeah,
because of that.
because you want the
Because
I'm sorry. Yeah, you want the
yeah,
recognition for what you
because
do.
yeah, because it's so ingrained in, I don't know. The colorism is such a big thing. Even here, like, you always think of it of like, oh, is it because I'm darker skinned that they didn't make a picture of me and they did make a picture of my friend? Like, that happened a few times. Like, when I was with a friend, we both had a different cosplay on. I was like, oh, can I make a picture? And they want to make a picture of my friend only, and not for me. They didn't
Mm.
want my picture; they wanted her picture. So I had to scoot over, stand there, like, okay, wait till she's done with her picture, and then we could move on. But the photographer never even looked at me because I was darker or I'm a bigger girl. Because yeah, you do feel it sometimes, but like I said, it's not as obvious here as some of the things that you see in America because the consequences are a lot bigger. But I don't know what the question was anymore because I'm
No,
rambling.
you answered it. You answered it. You answered it.
But
So,
yeah, does it affect my choice? It does in a way. Like me personally, I would never cosplay like someone like Diva because systematically what I see when a dark girl cosplays Diva, she's gonna get called a monkey or something else. And I'm not here for that because that would ruin my joy for cosplay. And it
mm,
shouldn't be like that. Of course, it shouldn't be like that, but it is. And I can change that by myself. So, like, people like, oh, you should cosplay. Like, no, I'm never gonna do that. That's like asking for trouble if I do that.
do you feel like
So,
other black women feel the same way, or black people in general feel the same way
oh,
you do? As far
definitely,
like, do you think
definitely,
that puts a hold on creativity because they feel like,
definitely.
well,
Like, I have girls come to me and say like, I am not going to do that cosplay because of the color of my skin. And they actually say it, they actually tell it to me in my face, like, I'm not doing that, or I'm scared to do that because of the color of my skin. And it is reality. Like, I don't care what everyone says online, like, oh, it's not that bad, or oh, that shouldn't stop you. But it is a thing to consider. Like, what I say, like, if it's your job, like if cosplay is what you make your money with, then the chance that you'll do it are bigger because the reward is also bigger
mm,
because you can get more money out of it if you do. But if you just do it for fun, stuff like that ruins the fun. When you get called a ape or whatever over and over again, like, where's the fun in that? There's nothing fun about that.
mm,
And I think, and I personally heard from a lot of people, like, that's one of the reasons they don't cosplay a lot of, or they're scared to cosplay because, like, I don't just want to cosplay like Nidalee, or I don't just want to cosplay this dark character. I want to cosplay this, but I'm very scared because when I do, people are probably gonna laugh at me, or they're gonna post me on like 4chan or whatever, or lolcow, and they're gonna laugh at me because we do see that, like, in our group. Someone was in another anime group, like a Dutch anime group, and in that group they posted a picture of an Android 18 cosplayer,
mm.
and she was dark and she was a bigger girl. And they called her, oh, Shaniqua 18, like the basic stuff, like,
Oh
oh, she should
no,
stop eating.
oh no.
And like, those are things like you see them and you're like, oh my god, why are you doing this? Like, what is in it for you to do that? Why are you making fun of this person? And she doesn't know it, of course, so she'll never know that she was shared in that. But we see it, so we're like, okay, that's what they're gonna do to our cosplay. They're gonna share it in some secret Facebook group and make fun of me. And A lot of people just don't want that. They don't want that mess in their space. Like it's just like it's tiring. It's already very hard to cosplay because of your color, or like when I went to my first convention, I was very, very, very scared
Mm.
because I was like only dark kid there. Like when I went for the first time, like there are more black people now, but in the beginning, like there were none. I was usually the only one. Like I was the black girl at the conventions.
That had to be a scary thought.
So it was super scary for me. And at that time, I also had a web store. So I actually made an effort to not show my face because I was scared that if they knew that I was black selling Asian products, they wouldn't buy from me anymore
Mm.
because I was black. So that was actually a concern I had. So when I went to that convention to actually go to the dealer room, I was very, very scared. Like in the beginning, I always took someone with me that wasn't dark skinned. Like, you have to come with me. They will probably think that it's your store and it's not mine. I'm just here to help you. So I was always very, very, because I'm really, really scared that if they would find out that the owner of the store was black, they wouldn't buy from me anymore. So in the beginning, I was very, very scared of that. And now it does cross my mind, but I do it anyway. And I know that people make fun of me regardless. Like, even if I make the best cosplay, they're going to make fun of me regardless. So I don't look it up. Like, if I know that there is a cosplay when a dark person cosplay, they're going to get shade, I probably wouldn't do it because it would ruin my fun, and I cosplay for fun. So, like characters like I said, like Diva, or I really wanted to do some cosplays. Like, I don't know if I should do them because I'm scared of the reaction I'll get or what people will say. Like, maybe not to my face or on my page per se, but what they're gonna say behind my back. Because in the back of your mind, as a dark cosplayer, like I don't fit the mold for this character. Especially when I'm also a bigger girl. Like, I have two things. I am not a size zero, plus I'm dark skinned. So, I have two things that are like against me. So, like, okay, I do not have the same figure as the character, and I also have the same skin tone. So I'm gonna get a lot of hate because I do this.
See,
So yeah, it is something that's always on my mind, but I do try to not think about it. But I think with a lot of cosplayers anywhere, especially when they're starting, it's something that they think about.
I'm gonna hook you up. I'm gonna send you over to a cosplayer I like. Her name is Tranquil Ashes.
Yeah,
She likes to cosplay Akuma from Street Fighter, and I love her
yeah,
Akuma
I've
cosplay.
seen her around.
Yeah, and but I'm gonna teach you a word. In Black America, we don't say bigger, we say thick. It's different. Like you
Well, the
said,
thing is, here, thick, that, yeah, that's not a term you can just use. Like, you have to actually be thick if you want to call yourself thick. Like, I know that I am thick, but we just say bigger because when you're thick, they like think of the rapper Bombshell. Like, I do have that body, but when here, if you call yourself thick and you're actually, like we say, a bigger girl, they're gonna make fun of you. They're like, oh, you think you're thick? Nah, you ate way too much to be thick. Like, thick
wow.
is like you passed thick a long time ago. Like, that's how, like, thick here is like rap hip hop models. That's thick, and the rest is like plus size or bigger. That's usually what they
Mm.
say. What they usually say is body positive. They put that because if you see that here, that usually means they're a bigger girl or they don't fit the mold or of the regular model. If you like, that's what they call themselves here. If they put body positive in their bio, that means that they're either a bigger girl or they don't have the shape of a model. They're just bigger. That's what we say here. Like, thick is for very select few to call yourself thick.
So is the typical European not? I don't know, because in America we're kind of big over here, So like, is like the typical European that small that they can then shame people who are not that small?
Um, if you take the average Congo over here, they're very young, so they're usually. I wouldn't say fully formed, but they're not that big. Like if you're thick, like you guys say, like you get noticed here. Like people will point that out that you are bigger, either in a positive or negative way. They will point it out to you, like, yo, kudos because you do this, because because basically say, oh, you're so cool that you did this, because you're fat, so you gotta have a lot of courage to show your belly. Like that's how they put it here. They actually say that to your face, like, oh, that's such a cool thing that you did this cosplay, like being a bigger girl and stuff. Like, okay, well, thank you, I guess. So that they will actually point it out to you. So they do really have that, like, I wouldn't say elitist. Like our community is, yeah, I would. Our community is very elitist. They have a few cosplayers who are good, and if you're not them, then you're not good. That's basically how it works.
See,
If you're not them, you're not good.
See, in the Blerd community, like if anybody was to make fun of like Tranquil Ashes, we'd probably jump them because that's not cool. Like I mean, like yeah, it's like kudos to you for being a thicker woman and wanting to pull this cosplay off, but like we don't say that. You know what I mean? Like we give them their, like, if it's a good cosplay, it's a good cosplay. Like your body
Yeah,
size does not determine, or should, nor should it determine how good your level of creativity outcome is. So, Tranquil Ash's Akuma is probably the best Akuma I've ever seen. And
yeah,
everybody in the Blerd community recognizes her as Akuma, and she is like, if we had an Akuma, that would be Tranquil Ashes. And nobody's gonna say, well, because she's a bigger girl, kudos to you, or in America, nobody's gonna point out like, hey, I mean, maybe the trolls, maybe the internet trolls, the assholes are gonna be like, "Hey, she's a bigger girl. What do you think she's doing?" But they get jumped in real life because
yeah.
that's
No,
not cool. That's not
right
something you do.
here, they will genuinely say that to your face, like, "Oh, that's so cool that you did this cosplay, being a bigger girl and everything." Or they send you a DM saying that, like, "Oh, you look awesome, even though you're a bit bigger. Like, you still look really cool." Like they would actually say that to
Because
you here.
that's a double. That's a double.
It
That's like a
is
double headed
like you said,
compliment.
like we have a very elite community over here.
Yeah.
Like you have to look a certain way to be taken seriously. If you
Mm-hmm.
don't look like that, you're usually a body positive advocate. That's basically how they see you. Like, okay, then you're basically like, because we have a lot of girls like, oh, I don't Photoshop, and like that doesn't make you better than anyone else. We don't care if you Photoshop or not. And they're like, oh, I'm better because I do not Photoshop myself. I don't take away this and that. Like that's how they view it here. Like you have to be perfect by yourself, or either accept how you look, or you're fake. That's how we see it here. Like, oh, you can't Photoshop that, or oh, she looks so Photoshopped. She Photoshopped everything about herself. She doesn't look like that in real life. Those are things that are very big here. Like or oh, she has fake breasts, so oh, she has fake breasts. Oh, well, that discredits everything she does because her breasts are fake. Like, oh no, then that is not cool anymore
Mm.
because her breasts are fake. So even if the cosplay look bomb, your breasts are fake. So we don't do this stuff. Like just with Jessica Negan and stuff. Yeah, but her boobs are fake. She's only big. She's only great because her boobs are fake. People only look at her boobs when she actually does, like a lot of good cosplay. Like
Yeah,
I
she
personally
really
really like
does.
Niggity. And
Yeah.
yeah, she shows some boobs and her boobs are fake, but that doesn't discredit what she does. And here they would use to discredit you, like, oh well, she only looks great because she has big boobs, and they would actually say that, well, she looks. People like her because her boobs are big, or people like her more because she's pretty and I'm not. Like those are things that are like viewed as legit reasons here why you aren't as big as you should be.
I never knew Jessica Negri's boobs were fake. I never knew. Like we used to have a poster of her in my old job. We used to have a poster of her on the wall in the office, and she was just bae. Like we never knew her boobs.
Yeah,
Her and Cutie Pie
it
Sensei,
shouldn't
and we just
matter.
never
Even
knew.
if they're not, even if they are, I mean, she never acknowledged it, but they're, kind of obvious that they're fake. But it doesn't matter if they are, even if they're not. They would still say, oh, even if she wouldn't have, they would still say, well, it's still because she has big boobs.
Yeah.
That would it would still be because of that and not because of the work she put into
Yeah.
it.
And she
or
makes really good
the
cosplays too. Really
yeah,
amazing.
or the nights she spent grinding, making all those cosplays. Like that doesn't matter because she has a million followers because she has big boobs. Like that's how they think here. They're very elitist in their ways of how you should cosplay. If you don't use Warbler, if you don't make any big armor, like they won't take you seriously. If you don't show like huge ball grounds, then you're just a regular cosplayer. There's nothing interesting about you because you don't use Warbler, you don't make big stuff, you all use cheap items. So they will actually look down on you when you are like at the top of your game.
So I know you only had so much time, and we definitely went over it.
And I already told them that I was going to be a little bit later. So
so when are we gonna see you in America? When are we gonna see you in America? The Blerd community wants to see you. When are you coming to see us?
I don't know. Like I said, I asked a few times, like, okay, if I would come, where do you want me to go to? It's like I said, I don't know anyone in America. Yes, my aunt lives there, but she lives like in Texas somewhere in, I don't know, some hillbilly country. So I'm not gonna go there. So I'm not. She's the only one I know there, but I'm not gonna go to her place because it wouldn't be a vacation for me there. So I don't know anyone personally. So it's really hard when you don't know anyone to go to a country because, like, you do need help because I don't know where to get my tickets. Like, we also have like the time difference,
Yeah.
like the time when your tickets go live I'm in bed. So, stuff like that. Or I can respond as fast as someone who's awake because when I wake up and I see the comments, someone already, it's already gone or whatever happened. So it's very hard. But I really do want to go. I ask a few friends if they want to go. They do. But it's always like, okay, we don't know how to get there and where to go because you guys also have so many cons. Like, okay, I don't know where to go. Like, there's a con like every weekend, like in cons. And so we're like, okay, we have like two big cons. Like, we have one in June and we have one in August, and that's basically it. And we have some smaller ones and some Comic Cons, but that's it.
Hmm.
So and with you guys, you have so much. You have anime, you have Colossal Con, you have all these big things, Anime Expo. We're like, I don't know where to go. Like if I would go, what would be like the most beneficial to me to go to? Would it be a Colossal Con? Would that be an Anime Expo? Would it be an Anime East? Like that's so hard for us to judge because everything over there is big for us. It doesn't matter if it's a small con for you. For us, it's very big.
Yeah.
The most people we get at a convention is like a Comic Con convention. So that's this like lower tier convention we call them because normal people also go to Comic Cons, and the highest we get is like 45,000. Like that's the biggest we get. But at you, like there are so many people and it's so big, and we just don't know where to go because like we're really tiny compared to you guys, so we don't know. Like everything is big over there for us, so we don't know which one to choose, how to get there. Get hotels. Like with Colossal Con, like I think you need four people for a room. Like we don't have four people that want to go to America with us, so how are we going to fill the room?
Now,
Stuff like that. It's very hard for us to get there. Just get a ticket. Okay, that's one thing, but after that, like, how am I going to get to the con? Where am I going to stay? Who's going to guide me if I'm lost? Who's going to help me? Like we don't really have those connections, so it's really hard for us to just get there.
I'm gonna put you in contact with a couple of my friends. We're gonna make a fraternity out of this, and we're gonna try and get you. If you really want to come to a con, I'm gonna put you in contact with a couple of my friends. Like I said, I'll talk to the Smoke 007. I'll talk to Charlie Rocket. Um,
Yeah, like it will be really fun. Like even if it's a blurred con, I don't even like I said, I don't have to guest or anything. Like I would love to come. Like a lot of people ask me to come, but like I don't know. I don't know how. Like I can't go and fly back the same day. Like I can't do that. So, I have to stay there for at least a while. So I have to figure out the logistics, and that's very hard when you don't have someone over there or like total packages. Like, when you go on vacation, you just buy a package. Like, go, okay, I buy this, it's my ticket, it's my plane, it's everything in there. But with conventions overseas, you can't just buy like a total package. Like, okay, I'll buy this. I have a hotel. I have somewhere to stay, and I'll see what I do when I'm there. But at least I know where I'm staying. I know where I'm going, and that's that. And that's just what makes it really hard. And also that the cons, they can't help you either. Like when I ask them, like, I don't know. Okay, then I don't know either. So it's something that I do really want to do. Like it's we do want to go next year, but we don't know when or where. Probably Colossal Comic is something that we really don't have here.
Mm-hmm.
But then you also have two, like you have the East one and you have the one that was I think last weekend.
Yeah.
So like okay, like which one then we need to go to? Like where can I meet the most people that want to meet me? Which one should I pick? Like because when I go, of course I wanna meet the people that want to meet me. And if I go to a convention on the other side of America, then I might be in America, but they still aren't able to meet me because I'm on the other side. So it's really hard to pinpoint like one convention that would be like where we would see like the most people. And that's or Katsucon is also one that comes up a lot. Like you should go to Katsucon or Dragon Con. We're like, I really want to go, but we just don't know how. And that's really the thing that keeps us. Like the money is no issue. It's all fine, but we just don't know how to do the logistics of it.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna get you out of here because I know you gotta go, and we'll link up on social media and we'll figure this out for you. All right.
Yeah.
But thank you,
It's
sweetheart. It
really
was
nice if they would help me. Like if you see this, like help a girl out. Like I want to come, but I don't know how. Like I tried 3 times right now, and all the 3 times it failed. So I was like, okay, I'm not gonna try anymore. I tried. I'm done. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to ask. I don't know who to ask. I don't know how to take my money. I don't know how to get my money there. Like I
yeah.
want to give you the money, but I don't know how. Stuff like that. Like I don't know how to do it, and that's like thing that keeps us from going because we don't know how to do it.
Okay. We're gonna get you there. I promise. But all right, sweetheart, it's been fun. Thank you for coming on the show. I appreciate it. And if you ever want
Yeah,
to come
no
back,
problem.
just let me know. We'll work out the time
Sure.
difference.
It
But
will it would be like after a few weeks because it's really busy right now. Like now I have to run and do a lot of stuff, but that's fine.
hmm
But in a few weeks it will be totally fine for me. Like like I said, I with stuff like this I do get a sense of how important I am for Black representation
hmm
because people do tell me, but I don't ever take them seriously because I'm like, yeah, whatever. I'm just a little small Dutch girl. No one cares, like whatever. I'm not American, so no one cares anyway. But with stuff like this, like I realize that, okay, I do have, I wouldn't say power, but I do have like something that I can give back to the Blerd community, not just the community at whole, but just, our people. Like I
hmm
can do something, and that's something that I love to do. Like I love to like for I do it for girls here. Like I have some Black girls here, like almost under me, who ask me stuff like, "What can I do?" No, because they were scared to do it, and now they do it because they see a small Dutch girl with 14K followers. So it is possible. So that I know that it inspires a lot of people, and I want to keep doing that, but I just need the help of other people to do that. And I'm very thankful. I'm also very thankful you got me on here. It was a bit of a struggle, with all the time differences and stuff and all the hassles. And I had my phone here, and you call or you rang, and I was like, oh my god, what's happening? But yeah, it's really nice to do stuff like this and to know like I can actually make a difference to
hmm
uh, a lot of girls or just Black people's life, because I usually don't comment a lot on stuff because I'm like, well, I'm not American, so I'm gonna stay out of this because I'm not one of you guys, so I'm not gonna do that, like like hashtags. So I'm like, I'm not doing that because I'm not one of you guys, so I'm gonna stay out of this. Like I made an effort to just stay out of everyone's business, like the Dutch community's business, Blerd community business. Like I'm staying out of all their business. I'm not advocating anyone. I'm just doing me because like I'm in the middle. Like I'm a small Dutch girl. I don't have anything to do, or you don't want to hear stuff from me because I'm not from there. I don't know your stuff. So but yeah, it's really fun and nice to hear that I'm appreciated. That's fun. It's really nice to know. And it does give me motivation to keep doing what I do and get better at it, and make better pictures, get more cosplay out, because it's hard sometimes. But when I hear stuff like this, like now I want to go, okay, I need to go and get a cosplay ready, because people are looking at me. So it is very humbling and also fun to hear that like people are looking at you, and that's yeah, it's pretty cool. So thank you.
No, thank you.
Like, yeah, so yeah, it's super fun. Like, I hear it a lot of the times, and I didn't take it seriously. And now I'm like, okay, like all these people are talking about me, and even if I don't know them, or they know I don't follow them or whatever, and yeah, it's really motivating. Like right now, I'm just want to do, like, I want to work on my cosplay and get something out. Like I just want to show them that you can do it, even if you're like not confident about yourself, about your body, or whatever. That if you put your mind to it, like you can do it. Like, I'm not light skinned, I'm not a size 0, and I got here, so you can do it too.
All right, we're gonna sign off. Thank you, sweetheart. This is Chocolate
Yes,
Wafu, Jonathan D'Angelo, aka Johnny D, and this has been another Blerd View session. Thank you for listening.
yes.